Aparna, thank you for joining me today on Pop Culture Unplugged.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting times. We have FUBAR Season 2, June 12th on Netflix. How excited are you to be stepping back in the shoes of Tina?
I'm so excited. It's such a fun character and obviously such a fun show to be part of. So,
Mm. Did it feel like the stakes were even higher for Season 2?
absolutely. No, I mean, the cat's out of the bag now, right? Like everyone knows
Yeah,
that Tina's a Russian double agent. Where's
right.
everything's gonna go? So, no question.
What was your thoughts about the reveal, Tina being a Russian spy, in Season 1? Like, what was your reaction? Like, what was your reaction when you found out this was going to happen?
So I actually found out early on before I
Okay.
got cast. I did an audition and then the showrunner wanted to talk to me. And I was like, okay, well, I've just done one audition. Maybe that's a good thing. And
Mm,
he was like, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're a Russian double agent if you get this part.
okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's crazy. So the whole season, I'm sitting there being like, I know I'm all meek and humble right now, but I promise you, I'm very badass, you guys. At every chance I got, I'd be like, I'm playing a Russian double agent, guys. Like, I'm playing one. It was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What I like about season two, like we learned Tina wasn't just deceiving Barry and the team, but she was also kind of like feeding false information to her own team also. What do you think motivated her to like do a double cross in a way?
Yeah, I think here's the thing. Tina is used to being an asset, treated like an asset. She comes from a world where you don't form family ties with people. Like you might
Yeah.
be close with people that you work with, but it's work. It's all business. There's no pleasure. Meanwhile, this is a dynamic of people that they are family. They treat each other like family. They
Yeah.
love each other like family. I mean, Barry's literally called Uncle Barry, you
Yeah.
know? And this is someone who actually seems to love her and show her so
Mm,
much kindness. That's a really tricky position to be in. You know, you start having actual feelings and being like, wait, I'm a human being. What do I do? Like, how do I handle this? How do I keep my superiors, the people I've worked for my whole life, satisfied, but also not throw these people so far under the bus that like I can't save them? It's such a tricky spot to be in.
mm. Did you see like Tina's actions as betrayal, survival, or like a little more complicated, would you say?
I think it's a lot more complicated. She's such an anti-heroine. I think um there is some level of betrayal, but I think she is trying to show her loyalty in her own way. And she's not necessarily trying to broadcast it, but I think she does actually really care about these people. And that makes it really, really hard to
Mm,
navigate.
yeah. I wish this show would explore more on Tina's backstory. Like, how did she become an agent? Why and why she got thrown in there? What's your thoughts?
Totally. Well, I mean, we kind of touch on it a little bit in
A
season
little
two
bit.
when they're like, oh, she's part of this program, she does this. But
Yeah.
I do feel like, I mean, Nick Santora, our showrunner, has such an interesting, complex backstory for Tina. We sat and talked for like an hour about what that backstory was, and he gave me a lot of room to like come up with my own stuff for it as
Oh,
well. I'm
yeah.
very curious to see how much of that gets explored in season three with the way season two ends and the way it's set up for Tina.
Mm,
I'm very curious to see what gets revealed to the audience. But I think the big thing is that, I mean, I keep emphasizing it, but she was really raised alone, like to be a weapon.
mm,
And and like this is the first time she's kind of experiencing this sort of humanity. It's a very interesting character to be playing with.
mm. When you're saying like she grew up like becoming a weapon, that'd be cool to see highlights of a younger version of Tina getting trained.
Yeah, very Black Widow, right? It would be really fun
Yeah.
to see something like that. So I'm really hopeful. I think it would be fun to see like how did they decide on this person? How did they train her into it? Was she like raised into it? I'm curious to see
Yeah.
which of the things Nick and I talked about that end up being put in the story.
Mm.
I feel like it'd be fun.
I mentioned I spoke to Milan. Like, do you think the fallout between Tina and Barry, it was heartbreaking, first of all. What was it like filming those scenes with Milan?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. Every time they would go cut, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like every time that because he's so Barry is such a sweetheart. Like the character, everything about him is just sweet. He's kind, he's loving and nurturing, right? And Milan is such a wonderful actor to get to do these scenes with. He's so giving and we can goof off between things and but it
Yeah.
was so hard having to be mean to him and having to be cold with him and every time we cut, I'd be like, Milan, please, it's not personal. He's like, you're good. Yeah.
He mentioned to me that, if you guys get a season three, that he wants more action scenes. What about for you? What would you think you want to see for season three?
I want to do all the action scenes. I got to do
Yeah.
my first big one this year, and it was so much fun that I remember pulling our showrunners aside, being like, I want to do all the fights. I don't care if it's sword fighting, I don't care what it is. Like,
Yeah.
just I want to play in that world more. And I think it would be fun to see Barry as well doing something like that because he's having his own hero arc. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Through this whole story. So I feel like it'd be really fun to see these two characters that are so used to being like in the back a bit come out of their shells that way. I feel like, and
Mm.
I think with this season, Barry as well gets that chance, like a glimmer of it, and so does Tina. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how
But
that
you did
goes.
have a little action scene. What was it when Fabiana's character was it punched you or slapped you? No, I'm trying to remember.
She punches me, and that was
Yeah.
after my big fight scene with
Yeah.
Monica. Yeah, Fabiana punches me, and then and it catches me really off guard in the scene. I'm like, what the like? It gives me a little bloody nose, but
You mentioned Monica. That was a good fight scene with her. Was that all
it was
you?
so
Was there
much fun.
stunts? What was it?
We always have stunt doubles there
Okay.
because it's a safety thing. We're not all as talented as Tom Cruise is in that department, which is so funny talking with Monica about that. But Monica and I are both dancers. We both grew up being dancers, and so for us, we had so much fun. In fact, that fight was actually a wish list of mine from the first season. I was like, if I get to do a fight with anyone, I really want it to be with Monica. I love her. I love our dynamic. And I feel like our characters haven't had enough time to create any kind of a big, interesting dynamic. And for both of us learning the choreography, we both kept saying it feels like we're both back in dance again. Like, and
Okay.
we really committed to it. We had so much fun acting through the fight. But that was mostly me. I
Well,
actually did get choked out at the end. I did actually fall
oh,
unconscious in real life. It's like the Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen, kicking the helmet. I did pass out, and I was like, use that take, please. It's great. Yeah.
mm. So if we see season three now, who do you want to fight next? Who do you want to have a big scene with?
Um, well, I'd like to fight alongside the others, but I think it would be really fun to have a fight with Fortune. I don't know why. I think it's so funny. Like Rue's been bullying Tina a little bit, like throughout. So I feel like it would be fun to kind of just get a 1-2 punch in, and then we're all in the same team.
Yeah.
I would like to fight alongside, Arnold. His character is such a bruiser. He
Mm,
packs the punch, and it's as I've been learning more about stunt fighting and thinking about how my character moves like a spider or a cat. Like it would be so interesting playing with all those other fight styles that they've created for all these characters. So
mm. So if there's a season three, also, like how would you explore the reunion between or the confrontation now between Tina and Barry? What would you like to see?
I feel like it will be. I would imagine and like to see something very emotional. And I think for Tina to actually be able to do that and be
Mm,
open and emotional, like truly with her feelings, she has to know she's 100% safe. So, because Barry at this point knows, well, has a hunch that
yeah,
she does love me, she's on my side. But I feel like for Tina, it's very much like she's always living in danger. Like she's had these feelings for him. Now she's being traded off to the Russians again, and
right.
anything can happen. It's like that means like usually death. Like that means it's done. So I think for her to like really feel safe and be able to open up with him, I could see it being very emotional. And I think it would be really good to get it emotional because I feel like she hasn't had a chance to actually feel her feelings. Like she's had
Mm.
to keep them very suppressed. So I would like to see some tears.
Well, and what it sounds from that clip also, it sounds like if season three happens, your guys are going to Russia like in that way to rescue Tina. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I think that's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah,
We'd be going to Russia and doing a little prison break, I think.
yeah.
So.
I could just picture it snowy, winter, cold. What do you think?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, because it was already supposed to be, I think, a little colder at this time of year in this story. So I'm curious to see. I
Mm,
mean, I also feel like just the idea of her being like isolated in a prison there sounds
right.
cold and snowy to me. So we should go. We should see what it's like.
Hey, looking back on both seasons now, what scene challenged you the most, you think?
Definitely my first fight scene. We were doing it's that fight scene with Monica, and that's
Okay.
because I had never done a fight scene before ever. And we were doing this insanely cool choreography in sand, which I don't know if you've tried. like if you've tried running on the beach, it's very
Yeah,
difficult to
it's
do.
hard. Yeah.
You know, it's very difficult to do. So we're there doing spider kicks and pushing each other and like jumping on things, and we're in heels and we're in the sand. It was such a, and I wanted to make sure I was telling the story like through the fighting and like having my character's perspective through the fighting. Like it was very new, but I love a challenge. I'm kind of a masochist, so it was fun for me.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think Chip is dead? I don't. I was telling Milan, I don't think he's dead.
I think he is.
You think so?
I feel like he's, I mean, you can't blow up in a nuclear reactor and not die. I
Yeah.
feel like you
I
could,
know, but sometimes you know how you get sometimes you watch these
you
shows or
could.
movies.
He could always, that's the thing too. He's such a genius character that there is always a chance, but
Yeah.
I think he's dead. But I never know. I mean,
Yeah.
they might find ways to bring anyone back for
Yeah.
all we
I
know.
enjoyed his character. That's why I don't think he's dead, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I love his character, and Guy
Yeah.
is so funny. He's like the funniest and one of the most magnetic people I've ever met. And like as soon as I had no idea what direction they were going to go casting that character. As soon as he popped up, we were like, this guy is it.
Yeah.
Like
But with the accent and everything, he's perfect.
he's perfect. He's so funny. Every time he made a joke about Garfield, I was losing it. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Who do you hope I know you mentioned action scenes, but like somebody else that you didn't get a chance to work with a lot this season that you hopefully get more scenes with.
Carrie Ann Moss. I didn't get
Yeah.
to film anything with her, but she and I got to know each other a little bit behind the scenes, and I've always been a huge fan of hers. Who doesn't love The Matrix? And
Right.
every project she's been in, Jessica Jones, everything. She's just incredible. And she and Arnold were actually the ones who were giving me the most advice for my fight scene. And she was really
Really.
like, anything you need, like you come ask me. And I feel like it'd be so cool. It would be a master class to get to work with her in any capacity. So
Mm.
I'd love to get to do more with her.
Did you now I know you weren't part of that puppet episode.
No, I was
So you
not.
didn't get so there was no puppet made from you, huh?
No, but they did make a Lego head of me, which was kind of
Okay.
funny. And
Did
it moves. It moves. Like the eyes will go up, the mouth will open, and I was like, "That's crazy." They were like, "We didn't have a puppet for you for that scene, so we have this Lego head that Barry made for you."
did you get to keep it?
They said I could. I haven't gotten it yet, but
Nah.
they said it's there for me, so I'm waiting. It'll go up in my office.
There you go. What do you hope the returning audience gets in season two? What do you hope they get out of this story?
I think what I'm really hoping for is that they are. First of all, I really hope that people are excited about how much the stakes have gone up. Like they're even
Right.
higher than before, which means, and because it's comedy as well, like we can go to some really crazy places like outer space.
Mm,
But I think more than that, what I'm really hoping that the audience like digs into is like the relationships between everyone, which I think this season does a good job of. It really focuses on who are these people? What are their relationships?
yeah.
Like they're literally going through therapy in a safe house. Like, what is that about? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think it's a really, because I don't think people are black and white. I think people live in a gray area. And even if the
Mm,
show is an action comedy, there's a lot of real stuff that people can relate to. And I hope that people can sink into those relationships between these characters even more.
mm. Did you get a chance to meet Ham Steak?
I did. I cried. I cried. I kissed him on the little snout and he freaked out on me. So I was like, okay, okay, I'll love you from afar. But he's so
Yeah.
cute. Oh my God.
They're gonna want to see him on season three.
He better be a part of it. Our code name for this season, because every time a show will have a code name when they're filming around town, but
Yeah.
this season it was Oink. And people kept
Okay.
going in Toronto, they were like, what is Oink? What is Oink? And then they'd see little ham steak walking around outside and they'd be like, interesting.
Is is there a specific episode that you hoping the fans that enjoy the most? Like one of your favorites
Oh,
for the season?
there are a few.
Okay.
There are actually so many. It's so hard. One thing that I think I feel like the last episode,
Okay.
it is such a cliffhanger and there's so much action in all the other episodes, but there's so much that is happening in the last episode between all of the characters that I feel
Mm,
like it's so juicy. Um, and then other than that, I think there are a couple of major dance scenes this season that I think are so good. They're so hot. I think the audience will love them. I
mm.
love them. I was watching them being like, you guys, this is crazy.
I heard there's
I
gonna be some deleted scenes that are gonna get released right after too, and some bloopers. So I didn't get a chance to see those, so I'm looking forward to those.
Bloopers are great. Fortune is so fun. It's mostly Guy being a maniac, which is the most fun thing to watch. So I'm excited.
It's amazing. What's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about before we end this? Are you taking a break? What's the plan?
I'm taking a little break just because I'm part of an artist collective in LA, and we've been doing these crazy immersive experiences. We've been transforming a
Okay.
warehouse in Hollywood into Andy Warhol's factory and like having people come in and like be a part of the scene and acting in that. So I'm taking a little break. I do have some things in the works, but I'm not allowed to talk about them just yet. So
Okay.
unfortunately, lips are zipped, but
There you go.
yeah.
Perfect. So we have FUBAR season 2, June 12 on Netflix. Aparna, I want to thank you for giving me for this today. I'm hoping we see season 3. I'm hoping we get you back on.
Thank you so much. It would be so much fun to be back.
Thank